Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Welcome to the Tactics Show with Danish today. How's it going?
Good. I don't know why there was so much negativity around that performance yesterday. Okay, yeah, we lost.
United lost.
Yes, we lost, but it's not the point of the league. I don't care what you say. Don't tell me, we're 16th, we're 15th, we're 14th. I know. The point of any performance from now till the end of the season is if it's getting better or not. And that was miles better.
I agree.
It was miles better. Well, we can get straight into it. What has been the problem since Amorim has come in? The major problem?
Scoring fucking goals, Danish.
That too. But that ends with scoring goals. It starts with the buildup. Right?
Yeah.
Not to be a nerd, even though I am one, even though a lot of people will call me a fucking nerd anyway. It starts with the buildup. It starts with creating space in defense and then in midfield, and then you work your way up. That was fine yesterday. There was multiple times where Amorim said it at the end of the game. I don't know what is with this guy in the press conferences. He seems to say the right things. He seems to say the things that the fans are feeling. Everything was fine up until the final third.
My favourite quote, I mentioned it on the main pod yesterday. He was asked about Anthony Elanga, and he said he had his chance at Manchester United. I don't think about it. I was like, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, Nobody should. Stop bringing videos of Elanga up on my feed. Great. He's having a good career at Nottingham Forest.
And look, and good for him. I don't think we should regret that. Didn't think he was going to make the grade at United. I mean, the fact that he's performing well at Forest, great for him. The fact that Anthony is performing well at Betis, great for him. The fact that Marcus Rashford is performing well at Aston Villa, great for him. We go down the list of...
He's doing all right at Villa. It's not. He's not doing anything different that he wasn't doing at Manchester United, honestly. He's barely played any full 90s at all.
No, he hasn't. I mean, they've been getting him back up to fitness. Anyway, this is not the Marcus Rashford pod. This is the Manchester United pod. So why were United better in build-up? Just personnel, or did you see a tactical shift at all?
No, the football was miles better. And we'll asterisk this and say Nottingham Forest aren't maybe the best pressing team. There's also that.
Pretty bad, I thought.
No, yeah, pretty bad in the press. They were still there in the press, though. They were still trying to press them whenever they had it wide and whenever they had it in midfield. And United, there were times, go back to whoever wants to watch the full matches, and this will be on my profile later. On the 17th minute, there's a perfect little sequence where they got it wide. Instead of hoofing it down the pitch like they normally do, they knocked it inside to midfield into Casemiro, turned, gave it to Bruno, switch was on, got into the final third. The problem is the fullbacks and the wide players need to have good relationships in this system. You need cutbacks, crosses. The one player that is getting into the position to cross it well, the one player that has speed to get into behind a defensive line, and I still think you need to have him in there because he's doing that. He hasn't formed a good relationship with the new fullback yet. The new fullback looks very threatening, but every time he goes on an overlapping run, Garnacho decides to shoot.
Yes, it is frustrating that Garnacho's looks like a one-trick pony off the left, doesn't he? Where he'll cut inside and shoot, and that's it.
It's not just the fact that he'll cut inside and shoot and make the wrong decision. It's the fact that there is a better play on. Stop ignoring your fullback. He's taking the man away so you can play it to him. He's not taking the man away so you can shoot.
Yeah.
And then you look at, why isn't that happening on the other side? And you go, no, okay, it is happening on the other side, but Dalot can't really seem to fire across him. And then on top of that, you go, well, there's not really anybody getting into the box anyway. There was, I think, Bruno got into the box a couple of times in the first half. He had a header on goal. Dogu was doing it more in the second half. There was a lot more umph when they stuck Harry Maguire battering ram up front. And the one time he actually found him on the overlap, he found Dogu. All of a sudden, a clear-cut chance was created and Harry headed wide. Again, in the last minute, there was a last minute clearance. But I will say the build-up was miles better. Whether that's because Forest are bad in the press or not, they're bad, but they were still doing the same thing.
And they were very narrow, so they did give United a lot of space out wide. So that helped get United into those wide positions. It's just when we got into those wide positions, didn't create those overloads or didn't create the opportunities for the cutbacks or the cross or the few opportunities there were for the cross on the right-hand side.
I think they did create those opportunities in the final third, and they did create the cross situations wide. They just weren't good at executing them.
Yeah,
that was
24 shots, but only 1.5 XG from open play. I guess we should be going, actually, United created half a goal from set pieces, which is quite good for United.
I disagree with this.
Is it just Casemiro's good at heading, and it was just fortunate they got a couple of headers in?
I disagree with this. I thought the set pieces could have been better, the amount that they had. How many did we have? 9, 10 at least?
Yeah, it was a fair number, yeah.
And Cass should have done better with a couple of them, and it was clearly he was trying to get on the end of them. But I feel as though they were either really threatening, and Cass got on the end of it. I think Dallo hit the bar as well, or just not threatening at all. But I feel like the narrative is because, we're 16th, because this team is bad. They can't look at any performance and go, that was actually good. And it was. There was a last-minute clearance off the line. Dallo hit the bar. They got into the final third a number of times. Nuno Espirito Santo said at the end of the game, we were on the ropes. I don't know what more evidence people want that was a good performance.
No, I think that's fair assessment. And Forest played like Forest. We expected them to sit deep. They're a very, very efficient side in terms of converting their chances. They've created less XG this season than Manchester United. They've created less big chances, or fewer big chances than Manchester United this season, but they are third. They're just a very, very efficient team with what they do. And if you look at the number of blocks and clearances that Murillo and the other chap, I'm looking over here, Milinkovic, who spent the time arguing with his own players, they made like 20 clearances between them. Yeah, an astonishing amount. So Forest did a Forest. Forest did a Nuno. How many times did Wolves Nuno produce that performance against United? I mean,
it's awful to play against awful. That was another thing. I know you never see Amorim sort of up in arms, but you could see that they were taking a long time with everything, goal kicks and dead ball situations. Even Bruno, because Bruno's like the only player normally who's always sharp, and when he's on the referee, he was pointing at his watch as well, because they were taking their time. It feels as though a lot of people have kind of given up because they hate the fact that the league position is where it is. I'm not saying, again, it was like the greatest performance ever, but that was a lot better. It was absolutely a lot better.
Agree. So moving forward for United then, it looks like Patrick Dorgu's a good addition. He's definitely got some rough edges to him. His passing is quite sloppy, but we knew that coming.
That was not a good Dorgu performance, but we'll give him the benefit.
Yeah, we knew that coming in. That was his weakness. Yeah.
Rusty. He looked rusty. And
he did.
Some of them did look international break rusty. I thought Bruno's first half performance was very rusty. Every pass was bad. I will say this. A certain Uncle Cass, he's not back. I don't want to say he's back, but he's something. I don't know what it is yet, but he is something. There's a degree of, it does feel like he's covering less yards. And he is just, maybe he's getting more confidence. And he's breaking play up more. And his passing under Ten Hag's first season, it wasn't excellent. It was good, and it still found solutions. It's getting back to those levels now as well. And I think it's quite salient that he took Ugarte off and he didn't take Casemiro off. Maybe it's because Ugarte had a long travel and he was in South America, but definitely an uptick in performance from Casemiro as well.
Yeah. I mean, he was part of the defensive unit that got caught with Elanga's goal. I'm not pinning that on him by any means, but he wasn't in position to stop it. Whether he could have done, he'd have probably just got himself a yellow card, but someone else should have got themselves a yellow card as well with that move. I do agree. I think when he's alongside someone with legs like Ugarte, he just looks better. He doesn't have to cover as much space. He physically can't, but that was true when we bought him, honestly. I thought it looked like he was, because Madrid kept the ball so well, with Kroos and Modric alongside him, he just didn't have to cover the yards. And my impression when he was coming in was that he was physically waning. And so when you cover for that with him, he looks a lot better, doesn't he? It's really the physical stuff, not the mental and the technical stuff that's his problem. So, but coming back to the fullbacks, do we need an upgrade on the right-hand side then? If we had someone who could execute on the right-hand side, alongside, let's imagine Ahmad's back, does that make a big difference to if we're saying the game plan and that we've moved on tactically under Amorim, like 6 months in, we can see what they're trying to execute. They're just not executing it well enough. It's got to be personnel then, right? Either you develop your own players and they come in, and there's a couple of options there, or we buy better options. And what are a ball-playing central midfielder, a right wing-back, someone who could fucking score. Like, that would make a massive difference, would it not?
Yeah, I think it would. It's just... It's hard to really pinpoint. I think another striker is needed. Just because I think a striker with experience is probably better. I don't want to put more blame or shoulder more responsibility on a young forward. I think there was reports of Liam Delap yesterday. But then you've got sort of 3 young forwards coming in who have played for teams who, okay, Ipswich they haven't had the best of seasons, but it's 3 forwards who you've bought because they looked promising and because they look like they can take that next step in 2 or 3 seasons, not straight away. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's a really big problem for United. Harry Maguire created more XG yesterday than Rasmus Højlund has in his last 15 games, unbelievably so. But it's just, it's a problem. Rasmus scored for United against Leicester, scored for Denmark against Portugal. Clearly, I assume that Amorim thought Forest would sit deep, and so therefore there'd be no space. He wanted a better technical player up front in Xerxes, who spent the first 3 minutes of the game drifting into the half spaces, and Amorim was screaming at him to stay forward. So that tells you something a little bit about Josh Xerxes. So it's a really difficult problem for United to solve that one, because it's going to cost a lot of money to buy the kind of quality of forward we need, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But a forward was a priority. I think another central midfielder is probably a priority. You do look more threatening when you have Diallo back. You do look better when you have Mino back. You probably look better with Martinez back as well. So there's still a lot of injuries going on. But the big plus point from the Nottingham Forest game overall is the build-up is getting a lot better. It's just... Yeah.
Although, to be honest, like, the build-up out of the back, Mazraoui helps a lot, right? He's good with the ball. He's good with the ball. So the left-hand side
I thought Diallo was good with the ball yesterday as well. It's just his delivery isn't that good. Now, does that mean you buy another right wing-back? I think it probably means that you have to buy another full-back. Not just because his delivery is bad, just because who's the other full-back if Diallo's out injured?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're looking at the youth team, right?
Diallo there. You could put Diallo there. You could put Diallo there against the Brentford, against the Bournemouth, against the Fulham, but you need depth in this. Yeah, you need depth in this squad, and it feels like he's changing around a lot. I will say that Mino, like last season, you would say he was probably one of Man United's best players, right? He's not really played under Amorim, and he's not really played
injuries.
He's not really played 90 minutes, and he's not really played in a position where he's making the role his own. I thought seeing him, and everybody felt this as well, seeing him play in the way that he did in that chaotic team, the way he did, the way he took it on, and then was played in the England team in the Euros as well, and smashed it both times. You thought, okay, this is actually a player that you build your midfield around. There's one like little sequence and video that I was watching of the FA Cup final the other day when we beat Man City, and City basically pressed Man United in the same way that they've pressed all the Amorim teams. And the key to getting out of that press was literally Mino received the ball in defense, took it back in the middle, and then moved forward. So if he stays fit and you get him back to the form that he was in, maybe that eliminates the need for another central midfielder.
And I think we need one anyway, because Casemiro and Eriksen leave.
I agree with that. It's just I would rather have a midfielder like Mino and remember that he is as good as he is, get him back to being as good as he is, and then you can sort of move around with, okay, well, if we play a low block, maybe you can put Bruno in there and Diallo's back and put Garnacho, Diallo and Højlund in, or Garnacho, Diallo and Xerxes, or move around with, okay, we're playing somebody a little bit tougher today. Maybe you play Mainu, Casemiro, and Ugarte, and Mainu can play one of the left forward roles and interchange like that. It's just, yeah, another central midfielder, another right back, and another forward, I think, are the three priorities.
This episode is brought to you in association with NordVPN. For those of you who don't know, VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. It secures your connection, protecting your personal information and online activity, especially on public Wi-Fi. The VPN enables your phone or laptop to switch its virtual location to another country, which is great for accessing your favorite content while you're traveling. Long-time listeners will know that I've spent a good part of the last 20 years on the plane. I've recorded this podcast in places from Tokyo to Old Trafford, New York to the Northern Quarter, and a VPN has been absolutely essential to watching the game while I'm abroad. True story. I once racked up a £1,500 phone bill watching a United game while I was in Shanghai. I was on my work phone and I blamed it on video calls back to the office. The key lesson of this story is not how to scam your employee out of a large phone bill, but that I couldn't have watched the United game without a VPN. It's been a real lifesaver. If you want to try NordVPN for yourself, go to nordvpn.com/NQAT, and our link will also give you 4 extra months on the 2-year plan. It's the best discount available and equivalent to the price of coffee per month. There's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee, and the link is also in the podcast show notes if you need it. I think so. I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, they're going to ship so many players out that somehow will be challenging to do that many deals. But the critique of him is that he doesn't move the ball forward fast enough. And I mean, also that he's not fit at the moment. I think that's probably on the club for playing him too much after he came back from injury and he's suffering from that. And maybe it's some growth issues. But if you can't find a place in your team for someone with his sort of small space qualities, then come on. I just don't believe that. He's already one of the best in Europe in those small spaces, and your ability to play out of a press in tight situations, given I think you've said before that Bruno doesn't like the ball in those tight spaces. He tends to do all those kind of flicks and turn around the corners and take some risky passes. He doesn't like the ball with his back to goal and trying to turn. And so fair enough. You've got a player in mind who loves that. Right?
Yeah.
Loves it.
I think he's okay with it. I would rather form Mainu be in those positions.
And then ball progression stuff. I'd like to see him be braver, for sure. And I think he's got the quality there. And it's about time in coaching and Amorim giving him the kind of instructions he wanted. Almost felt like Amorim had given up on that when he moved him forward to number 10 and said, okay, now you're going to play in those small spaces 20 yards further forward. But we'll see. I mean, there's too much quality there just to give up. I think I kind of tend to ignore the internet idiots.
Yeah.
Of which there are many.
Yes.
Of which there's probably a large proportion of people on the planet think I am one of those internet idiots. But
of which many are bots now as well.
Many are bots. I don't know. Like screaming to the social media void, it doesn't make any difference. Like,
not at the minute with Twitter.
Yeah, but I tend to agree with you. I think that was one of the stronger performances under Amorim. A lot I saw there that seemed right. Like we were doing well. Made one defensive mistake. That's it. Like, and that defensive mistake really was not hacking the guy down.
Yeah, I think Garnacho was
honest. Yeah, just kill him.
I think Garnacho tried and failed, and then it was the ideal scenario for them. But it's I think that we are okay to feel as though it's a loss, and every loss still stings. But that was a better, good performance, and you can just keep building on it now because it's tough opposition in the league from now till the end of the year.
Yeah,
it'll be tough in the Europa League as well. People keep saying, as long as we win the Europa League, it's okay. It's not a foregone conclusion. We had a better squad in 2021. We had better attacking players. We had one of the best attacks in Europe. They didn't win the Europa League then. They didn't. Bruno Fernandes, they had Martial, they had Rashford, they had Pogba, they had Cavani.
Yeah.
plenty of goals in there. They didn't win the Europa League.
I guess the thinking is it looks quite weak this year, the Europa League. I mean, it's definitely winnable, but all the other teams in it will be looking around going, yeah, this is winnable too. So, yeah, the favourites are still Spurs, who I believe are behind us in the league.
By odds on, Spurs are favourites. Yeah. Is that true?
I don't know if it's odds on, but they're favourites. Last time I looked at the bookies.
Oh, wow. Fair enough. I mean, I'd like to see what the prices are for Athletic Bilbao.
Yeah. I mean, it's Bilbao. Leon, not a great side. I mean, they are still relying
Touch wood. Come back to this, and then we get slapped by Ryan Cherky.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
New Year, same extra value meals at McDonald's. So now get 2 snack wraps, plus fries, and a medium soft drink for just $8.
For limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Hawaii, Alaska, and California, and for delivery.
Yeah, well, that'll be the interesting one. I mean, obviously, we played Bodo Glimt. They're playing Lazio. Tottenham play Eintracht Frankfurt, who, again, are one of the stronger teams. But that is relative, and Bilbao play Rangers on the other side of the draw. So, yeah. All right, shall we move on to City at the weekend?
Yes.
Because this is a Haaland-less City. Presumably, Marmoush starts this one alongside Bernardo Silva and one other up front. Kevin De Bruyne is back and sort of playing in the more advanced midfield role. They played Gundogan and Kovacevic at the weekend, didn't they, in midfield? That doesn't look that dynamic. I mean, they just don't feel like the City of old. So what are you seeing in City at the moment?
They don't look like the City of old, but the City of new look like they have sparks of what we could see in the future with their team. They still have Marmoush looks a really good player. They might look I don't want to say more dynamic with Haaland out, but they definitely play in a different way, and it makes everybody else tick a little bit more. This won't be a game where they will pass you to death anymore. I want to see how this plays out, because it feels like a team that is trying to find new rhythm and building their new team. And it similarly, we're a team that's trying to build new rhythm and trying to find our feet as well, and build our own team for next season as well. So it's two teams that are playing each other with an eye on next season. But they still have a lot more to play for, obviously, because they're in the Champions League. I just feel as though you need as many wins and good performances as possible, regardless of, I don't care, they're 16th in the league. It's a derby.
They're not in the Champions League. They got knocked out, didn't they?
No. As in,
they're playing for a place in it. Yeah,
that's what I meant. Yeah. As in, they're playing for a place in the Champions League, and everything still matters to them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it does. I mean, they're fortunate in that there'll be almost certainly 5 places this season, unless all the English clubs get knocked out in the next round. There'll be 5 places, so that's lucky for them until the verdict comes down and they get a 900-point penalty, let's hope, per season, which they have to work off from now until the end of time.
I feel like that's going to be an infuriating case, because things have died down a little bit with it.
We're just waiting. We're waiting for the verdict. I think
you know something?
No, I don't. I just, most watchers of this think that it's done. I think, yeah. Anyway, second hand, but I think we're waiting for the report to come out, which will be the verdict on guilt, and then there'll be a secondary hearing, which is the punishment, and then the appeals, and then the court cases.
Yeah.
And then we'll appeal it to the Court of Arbitration in Sport, and then the High Court, and then the fucking Global Court, and then the Martians, and then whoever else City will throw lawyers at to try and delay it.
I think they will just delay it until people don't care about it. It'll be like
bored,
it'll be like Pacquiao and Mayweather that happened like 20 years later, where people are like, I don't really care about. Yeah, fair enough, but I wish this happened 15 years ago. Well,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
right. Yeah, Pep will be managing, I don't know, AC Milan.
I mean, they haven't. The interesting thing with City is they haven't really changed that much. I mean, there's
No, they
no big tactical shifts, and that is part of the problem, right? Pep's like, we're just going to play through this. Yeah.
Tactically. I will say that Pep said the tactics don't work anymore, and that the teams are too physical with us. I don't think that's not. It's partly a new trend of where the league's going, but it's not a new trend in terms of that's the thing that everyone's going to do now. It's just because Klopp has retired, Guardiola's team isn't working as much. The stranglehold that those two had on the Premier League is kind of gone. Once that has gone, and once Man United were bad, once Tottenham were bad, once Chelsea have been horrific for the last 15 games, by the way, the teams that are below them, they will see other teams trouble them and realize, okay, we're not going to die down for you anymore. We're going to actually have a goal, which I think is what they should have been doing for the last 3 or 4 seasons anyway, what they could have done. They just haven't. It's just a few wins this season have shown that they could do that, if that makes sense. Mentally, it makes a huge difference if you play for Bournemouth and you see Fulham beat Chelsea and you go, they're beatable, we can beat them. I don't think it's a new trend of physicality is the next one. It's just that the elite teams of 4 or 5 of the elite teams have got it horribly wrong this season.
Yeah, including City. So we would love to put a dent in their Champions League qualification hopes. Sadly, they're still in the FA Cup. It would have been nice to see a season without City winning something.
Yeah, hopefully Marcus Rashford scores against them in the semi-final.
Come on, Marcus.
And we can all be happy for that, by the way. Nobody loses. Nobody loses from Rashford having a good loan. There's this weird war going on between people who love Rashford.
It's top red culture war, right? And I've always found this slightly odd, right? As someone of that kind of age, with a number of the other quote unquote top reds, not claiming I am one of these people because I'm definitely not. There's this thing where if you're not at the club, you're against the club, and therefore we must hate you. And so, the desperation of some people, including people I like, who just want to trash on him for the sake of it. I'm just like, why? What's the benefit here? We know he's a good player. We know he's had some challenges mentally, physically, emotionally, all of it. We know his ceiling is much better than the crap he served up for the last 18 months. We don't know why that has happened, honestly, and what has gone off the rails. But
we don't know everything.
We definitely know there's signs of progress at Villa. I agree that he's not been absolutely brilliant, but 4 assists, 2 goals. It's been slowly getting better for Marcus Rashford, I think, and it would be good for him and for us if he plays really well to the end of the season. We get a bigger fee as we possibly can for him if he's not going to stay at the club because that relationship seems broken, and he knocks City out the FA Cup. Everyone should be delighted all round.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if he leaves, you get a nice fee. If he stays, you probably have a striker who's experienced. But he can definitely help the strikers that are currently at the club.
I wish I knew more. I do not. There are probably people who will have the story to tell at some point about what went wrong there and why Amorim felt that it was broken and why the leadership were very supportive of Amorim disposing of what 2 years ago would have been £100 million asset. And now he's not. So everyone at the club, including Marcus, should look at themselves and go, what went wrong there and why? But we move on, don't we? The club has always moved on from players, and there have been better players than Marcus that have gone, and we survive. We would like some fucking goals, though, Danish.
Of course, yeah. I mean, but they will come as long as the build-up keeps improving.
Yeah, I agree. There was a lot to like. Against City at the weekend.
I tried to sit and after every performance and trash them when they don't really deserve to be trashed.
Yeah. There is a culture of negativity around at the moment. It's going to take some time to turn it around.
Get it. Yeah. Totally get it. I'll be back on Monday when we're awful in the derby.
Oh, let's hope not. We do need to score some goals. So what do you think the team looks like then? I mean, it's going to be very similar, isn't it? Do we? I mean, presumably it's still going to be the double pivot of Casemiro and Ugarte in midfield. I imagine.
I think it picks itself. There's nobody else fit. I think on the bench, who came off the bench yesterday? I think it was Højlund, Mount,
Maguire
came on. So that's not.
and Ericsson.
Those are
Maguire, I guess they might look at for being. I mean, Marmouchi's not the kind of physical beast that you need to battle with in the same way. He's much more technical than Haaland, so that'll be a question mark. Don't have to fight Haaland. So, actually, do you want nippier defenders in there? Apart from that, I mean, I suppose, I don't think he'll go to 2 defensive wing backs, with Mazraoui and Dalot. I'm assuming Dorgu will continue. Then there's the question who plays up front. Is it Højlund or Xerxes?
Those are just about the only questions. I think the only questions are, is it Højlund or Xerxes that are going to start up top? Is it...
Well, and also, is it Xerxes or Garnacho? Because he may go with the 2 technical players in Bruno and
there's not
Xerxes,
really much else to talk about, I think, because the injuries kind of pick the teams themselves.
They do. Although we had some interesting options on the bench. Sekou Kone was on the bench against Forest.
I don't think any of those kids are going to play against City. So
I don't think so. He introduces them slowly. But we had Kone and Harry Amas on the bench. And obviously we've had Jack Fletcher on the bench recently. Tyler Fletcher was very good in the Youth Cup the other night. We may see Morehouse on the bench at some point this season, probably not against City, but
no.
And then he praised Mount a lot yesterday. He really likes
Mount. I'd like to see more Mount.
All coaches love Mason Mount.
I'm not surprised. He's a very good player.
And then most fans go, but we're not really sure what he does.
It's because they haven't seen him play much in the United shirt, so you're not really gonna. There's not that many Mason Mount comps as well, so.
No, but he's not that kind of player. He's like the opposite of Steven Gerrard, where Steven Gerrard had a load of crap games but produced brilliant moments.
Produced like one good performance.
And Mason Mount has a lot of very good games but doesn't produce many of those moments.
Yeah.
So
I would rather the first, not the latter.
Both in one player. Yeah. All right. I think we've come to the end of our time. You have a meeting.
With the Spanish consulate.
With the Spanish consulate. It's a very long story, folks.
You don't really want to hear it. It was very boring.
You are moving to the Real Madrid tactics show.
No, they wouldn't have me. They
wouldn't have you. Yeah.
I think I bashed them one time.
Ouch. Well, good luck. Thank you, everyone. We'll catch you next time. Finance show on Thursday and some other content this week, I imagine. But we'll be talking about Chelsea's PSR problem and exactly how they got round it.
By buying their own women's team.
Yeah. Sir Jim, I know you think the women's team has no value, but if you'd like to buy them for £500 million, then it would solve all our problems.
Go ahead.
Bye now.
Take care.
Reggie, I just sold my car online.
Let's go, Grandpa. Wait, you did?
Yep, on Carvana. Just put in the license plate, answered a few questions, got an offer in minutes. Easier than setting up that new digital picture frame.
You don't say.
Yeah, they're even picking it up tomorrow. Talk about fast.
Wow, way to go. So, about that picture frame.
Forget about it. Until Carvana makes one, I'm not interested.
Car selling made easy. On Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.